People should make New Year's resolutions if they're actually watching this video on January 1st. If they're watching it on December 23rd, they should make December 23rd resolutions. Waiting miraculously to when the calendar flips to start making your life better is silly at best. And so whenever you're watching this, make a resolution every day of your life because you only get one at bat. The reason people struggle with having a New Year's resolution and sticking to it is because it was a tactic to do a New Year's resolution. When you actually decide to make a change in your life, whether about weight or job or going out with somebody or relationships, that's when you actually pull it off.
I tell people all the time, you have to have something stronger than your fear. And mine were my children. I knew I had to make a change. And I admit to people, I talk about it in my book, I'm very open and honest, it did not happen overnight. Just because I had that realization that I had to be better, it didn't just happen. I would make a mistake, fall flat on my face, but it was the thought of them that got me up and going. And it was the thought of them doing whatever it was and pushing myself to be better. I tell people all the time, you have to have something stronger than your fears. And I use that in whether it's fitness, running a race, business, whatever it is, we all get scared. That's what makes things exciting. But you have to have something stronger than that to say, you know what? I may be afraid to do this, but there's something more important that I have to do this for.
As we end this year, man, I need you to believe, because faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
In retrospect, the struggle will strike you as most beautiful. And it's true, you think about the worst moments of your life, now they're integrated into who you are. And in some ways we understand that we couldn't and wouldn't be where we are without those things.
I think everything happens for a reason. I think there's a higher purpose. I think it's my job to find it. I think that life happens for us, not to us, but it's our job to figure it out.
You are the creator of your life. If you believe that, then you have to believe in yourself.
You can't spend your time worrying about the failures. You can't spend your time worrying about the mistakes. Like, if you sit there worrying about the mistakes all day, guess what? You take away time, you take away energy from doing what you're supposed to do. The only thing stands from you doing what you know you've been called to do. The only thing is you. Nobody can stop you. Listen to me. If God is for you, who could be against you? Can't nobody stop you. You're the only person that can stop you. So stop talking like a victim. Stop thinking like a victim. Stop acting like a victim and walk into your destiny.
Yeah, you can achieve an awful lot in a single year. I mean, I think about that all the time of like just how much can change in a year. It's very easy to say that things take 10 years. Bill Gates was the one that said that most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. I've often thought that that same exact quote applies to a year. I mean, it will blow your mind. If you actually sit down and are focused every single day for a year, your entire life can change.
The most important decision of your life is deciding whether you're truly committed to being happy no matter what. Because life is going to throw all kinds of curveballs at all of us. So the greatest gift you could give yourself is, I believe, to make that decision and say life is too short to suffer. It doesn't matter what happens, you're going to find something to enjoy and appreciate.
You find what you're looking for. You want to get sad? Go read all the negative stuff. It's there, unlimited. You want to be happy? Go find all the obnoxious amounts of free content around happiness, self-fulfillment, positivity. It's all there. Right. You find what you're looking for.
I'm not an advocate of toxic positivity or rose-colored glasses necessarily, but I do believe that you get to choose the thing that you're going to go looking for. And if you can get up and say, I'm going to go out and find some evidence of a good day, the likelihood of you having one is just higher.
That gratitude allows me to have perspective at the end of the day, as opposed to focusing on all the horrible things or the bad stuff. It brings me back to perspective that my life is amazing, even if it's horrible. My life is amazing, even if it's the worst day ever and everything's against me. I lose all my money and something else bad happens. It's still incredible.
You focus so much on the negative that you forget all the positive. And then when you do think about the positive, you're not putting the energy in the positive like you put in the negative. I know how to talk negative just like you know how to talk negative, but it don't work. It don't help nobody. Because if I put my energy into something negative, automatically my body's gonna respond and I'm gonna start doing negative stuff. I was homeless too. My father wasn't in my life too. I've been in struggles too. But I've come to realize that when you think optimistically and you speak positively, you can speak those things which are not as though they were. You can say certain things out your mouth and make it happen.
Positive thinking is not about being delusional. Positive thinking is about learning how to take control of internal processes and understanding that that will shape your external environment. But it's about remaining in control of the internal landscape. It's about knowing that despite shifts in the external landscape, you're gonna be okay.
This wave of betrayal, this wave of fear, this wave of grief, this wave of frustration, this wave of feeling stuck, this wave of feeling hopeless, it's temporary. It will come and it will go. And when you realize that emotions are temporary, it also gives you perspective to know that something better is coming.
One of my mentors, she had this business card that she used to give out to people. And it said that her greatest regret in life is trading in what she wanted in the bigger picture for what she wanted in that moment. And I always think about my life in that way of, is this what I want for the greater good, for my story to be, or am I acting out of a place of desire? Am I acting out of a place of wanting to change the way that I feel right now, knowing that that will hinder me? That's not really what I want. What place am I coming from?
Smart people like the idea of being cynical because it seems like you've considered all of the options. Only somebody that's a smooth-brained idiot would believe that things are going to go well, but it fails to recognize that your experience of your life is largely determined by the story that you tell yourself about it.
Well, I think it's the idea of going, look, you can change the way that you think about things. So I was thinking about things I can do this narrow bandwidth of things. My belief system, the assumptions I'd made about life. Well, you can get a job and you can work for someone. And after you get a job and you work for 40 years, you get a pension and then you get the pension. I was on a conveyor belt.
Sure.
And suddenly I went, oh, I could believe anything. I could believe that I could do anything. I could believe that I could be the guy on the TV show telling jokes. And you can. What you believe dictates your life. You'll be the barrier. You'll be the thing that stops you.
Life itself is what we deem it.
That's exactly right. It is what we deem it. And so you have to be relentlessly protective of the information that you take in, the thoughts that occupy your mind, the people that you surround yourself with. Because all of those things are influence factors. Another Stoic philosopher once said that, you know, when you leave your house and when you come back that night, you come back as a different man. You're never the same man coming back, right? Well, you're either coming back as a better human, more transcendent, more aware, more connected, or not.
So every single day for me, it starts at ground zero. I'm humble and I'm listening and my mind is open. And this is what I've seen and this is what I can tell you about. Everything that I look at, I try and look at from a humble perspective. And if you don't do that, it's going to be a problem.
Perspective is everything. Let's go. I need you to hear me loud and clear. How you see this thing is everything.
I just limited envy and jealousy, and I leaned into optimism and gratitude. If you're deeply unhappy, instead of blaming everyone else for it, put in the work to get out of it, because you can. I believe in people. I fucking believe in you.
How will you see the rest of your day? Because how you see the rest of your day will oftentimes determine the way you see the rest of your life.
What if I told you this was the last Monday morning of your life? What if I told you you died this week? Would you complain about your job or that test you don't want to take? I doubt it. I just don't get the mentality of being head down sad on a Monday morning. Take a step back, recognize that you can attack the world in a totally different way, and think about how awesome it actually is.
I heard somebody tell me they're not a morning person. What kind of foolishness is that? You're not a what? What does that mean exactly? You're not a morning person. If I got to get up early in the morning and get the money, I'm a morning person.
What matters is just being present for the thing. If you're doing something that you want to do and you're fully there for it, it's the only thing that matters. What's happening in front of you literally has all the meaning in the world. Make the best of it.
We can be the happiest and the most grateful we've ever been while we are going through the most difficult, painful, scary time in our lives. You're going, this sucks, but I'm gonna make the best of it.
How do you start your day? Now, for real, I really want you to think about that. How do you start your day? Because here's what I believe. I believe that if you start your day right, you can end your day right.
Once you leave your beautiful house, the war starts. So in the morning time, what I'm doing is I'm building my armor. It gets broken every night. I build the armor because now I know there's gonna be some disappointments along the way every day.
Yeah.
So that's life.
If you wake up in the morning and you're breathing, and you're standing in front of that mirror, and you have survived the stuff you have survived, and you are still waking up and trying to do better, that's a win.
What's your morning routine like? Because your journey to greatness all starts with the first decision you make in the daylight.
If I get up early, if I have time to myself to have a little routine, I've almost got this resilient bubble around me.
For me, redefining what is a perfect day and living as many of those days in a row as I possibly can, to me, that's winning.
The greatest gift you have as a human is choice. You control whether you get up and drive forward or not.
Do you wake up in the morning and love your life? Take the time to enjoy taking deep breaths and looking at sunrises and seeing the beauty of life all around you and go, oh, life can be really beautiful. It can be really good.
Who feels good? Yeah!
Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
Well, as I said, I'm a positive person. I think that you have to take what you're given and do something with it. The easiest thing to do is complain about it and give in to that. But I try to turn that into something positive, and so far it's worked for me. It would be easy to sit here and say, oh yeah, there's a lot of prejudice, there's a lot of racism. Well, that's a given. I try to be a positive person and figure out a way I can do better, not give in to.
Small minds discuss other people, gossip. Good minds discuss events. Great minds discuss ideas. At 66, getting ready to be 67, having just buried my mother, I made a promise to her and to God to do, not just to do good the right way, but to honor my mother and my father by the way I live my life the rest of my days on this earth. I'm here to serve, to help, to provide. When I was young, I starting to really make it as an actor. I came in, I talked to my mother. I said, Ma, did you think that this was gonna happen? I'd be so big and I'll be able to take care of everybody and I can do this and I can do that and I can. She said, boy, stop it right there, stop it right there. She said, if you only knew how many people that have been praying for you, how many prayer groups she put together, how many prayer cloths she gave me, how many times she splashed me with holy water. She said, oh, you did it by yourself? I tell you what you can do by yourself. You can go outside, get a mop and a bucket and wash them windows. You can do that by yourself. Superstar. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. What are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you have money. Some of you have patience. Some of you have kindness. Some of you have love. Some of you have the gift of long suffering, whatever it is, whatever your gift is. We all have different talents. Some of you will be doctors, some lawyers, some scientists, some educators, some nurses. It's what you do with what you have. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back pull someone else up. You only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. So you got to get out there. You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, or your treasures. The world needs your talents, man, does it ever. Your life will never be a straight path. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975. I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman. I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror, and every time I looked through the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head, and she said something I'll never forget. She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy." She said, "You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." Now, mind you, I'm 20 years old, I'm flunked out of school. In fact, like a wise ass, I'm thinking to myself, maybe she's got something in that crystal ball about me getting back into school next fall. But maybe she was on to something, because later that summer, while working as a counselor at a YMCA camp in Connecticut, we put on a talent show for the campers. And after the show, another counselor came up to me and asked, "Have you ever thought about acting? You're good at that." And in the years that followed, just as that woman prophesied, I have traveled the world, and I have spoken to millions of people through my movies. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots. And you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Sometimes it's just to not curse somebody out. Simple goals, but have goals. Remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. You'll see what I mean about taking risk or being willing to fail. Because taking risk is not just about going for a job. It's also about knowing what you know and what you don't know. It's about being open to people and to ideas. And I can't think of a better message as we send you off today. To not only take risks, but to be open to life, to accept new views, and to be open to new opinions. Because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. So members of the class of 2011, this is your mission. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, remember this: fall forward. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. because the 1001st was the light bulb. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. But I never understood that concept. Having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Without commitment, you'll never start. Without consistency, you'll never finish. What are you going to do with what you have? Those who can do. Those who can't talk about those who can. What an opportunity we have, because tomorrow's the first day of the rest of our lives.
When you are struggling and when you encounter obstacles, because I guarantee you, you will, and you start thinking about giving up, I want you to remember something that has carried us through every moment of our lives. And that is the power of hope. The belief that something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it.
There's this gap between cynicism and hope. I believe both are a choice. Like, hope is a choice, and for me, it was the hardest choice. Because I was the guy who was cynical. When I graduated college, I was 23, 40 grand in consumer debt, and I was angry at the world. I was like, I followed this path, I got good grades, I got the degree, where's my wonderful life? Cynicism becomes the easier choice. So I think it starts with, do not be cynical, because life is so much better and richer when you choose hope. Even though it's the hard thing to do, it's the stupid, cheesy thing to do, you're drinking your own poison when you just walk around cynical towards the world. Hope is a choice, cynicism is a choice. I hope you choose hope.
Because when you're stuck and when you are on a downward spiral, whether it's just in your own head or it's in self-destructive behavior, the thing that's missing in your life is hope.
What matters is, do we have that vision of hope? Do we see a possible future for us to step into that will make our lives better? You know, what's going on in the material world is not the point. It's a side effect. For you to have any vision of hope in the future, you need to decide that something is more valuable than what you have today.
If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person. A Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela. One person can change the world by giving people hope.
When you give up hope, you stop dreaming. My friend, you stop believing. Don't you ever lose hope. Don't you ever give up your mindset.
It ain't gonna be easy. Most of the time, you're gonna feel like there's no way out, that you can't do it. But listen to me when I say there is always hope. You gotta stare all that in the face and say, you can't beat me, I'm too strong.
If you don't have belief, if you don't have hope, if you don't have faith, you ain't got nothing. You hear what I'm telling you?
Love and hope and optimism is hard. Fear and negativity and cynicism is easy and lazy.
You see, you don't have to accept everything that has been handed to you. You can create the lifestyle you want. You can create the business you want, the friendships you want. It's all up to you. So there is no need for you to feel hopeless. You gotta get out of despair.
And it's not the end until you've given up. And just the fact that you're here should persuade you that you have another chance to get back up. There's still hope.
If you've never listened to something in your life, aggressively and intentionally, I need you to listen to me now. You are alive. Life is fragile. You are only mortal. You only have so much time to get it done. I need you to live every day from this moment forth. I need you to live every day as if it's your last. You don't have time to waste. So I need you to put in 1,000% every single day.
Life is about choices. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And you can hit the snooze button and you can stay in the bed where it's safe and it's comfortable. Or you can get up and face the world. So it's time to get up. Rise and grind, baby, let's go.
Waking up early gets me in touch with myself. It gets me in tune, it gets me in motion, it gets me in flow, where I can perform my best. When you wake up early, it's just you. The world can wait, right? Emails can wait. Text messages can wait. The boardroom can wait. The playing field can wait. The court can wait. Everything can wait. And I can get dialed in with what I've been called to do. I can get dialed in with why I'm here.
We all want to do something. We all want to be somebody. We all want to go somewhere.
Can you do what is required to fulfill your purpose?
One of the greatest tragedies in life is to live and not know why you're living. Truth is, everybody's got purpose, right? Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got something they have to pass or achieve or become. If you can hear my voice, you've got work to do. You've got a destiny to fulfill. You've got a purpose to walk into. There are going to be days when you are not going to feel like waking up. You are not going to feel like getting out of the bed. There are going to be days when you are going to be tired of being you. And you got two options. You can give up or get up.
I need you to wake up in this new day, in this moment, and seize the opportunity. You are alive for a reason. Someday, at some point in your life, you're gonna be able to look back and say, man, I'm so glad I didn't quit.
There is no pain that is bigger than my purpose.
Doubt is not bigger than your purpose. Fear is not bigger than your purpose. Insecurity is not bigger than your purpose. Your purpose is everything.
There's no chance you're gonna work hard enough to achieve what you want unless you're in a good place. The reality of how life works, everyone's ambition is completely dictated by what's going on inside of them emotionally.
The power is in your perspective. The power, the difference between those who make something happen and those who do not is wrapped in the truth and in the power of their perspective.
When we broaden our perspective, we often realize that there's a lot more to the situation. Our problems shrink because we realize there's a whole universe out here that is much bigger than you. So it's like the ultimate way of broadening your perspective and helping you realize that, what you're going through, while still significant, there's more to it. There's more to life than this.
I think when you're in that space, one of the most difficult things to do is to actually get perspective. I only discovered I couldn't see clearly when I was with someone who could see clearly. And the first time I put on glasses, I realized leaves were distinct individual pieces on a tree. That's the difference between surviving and being alive. When you're alive, you see the details and the beauty and the wonder. A person who's just existing, every day they struggle with depression and fear and anxiety. They see everything that's missing. They are haunted by all their disappointments, and they have not one more disappointment than the person who's fully alive, and not one more challenge or struggle or hardship. But the person who's alive somehow sees beauty in everything, sees wonders, and that's what I know I'm alive.
Yeah.
When I'm going, man, you cannot bring enough difficulty in my life to still for me the wonder of taking this next breath.
The fact that one human being can say one thing at the right second to another human being that can fundamentally change the process of their life because they have now decided to open up a different perspective and see the world differently is the most intoxicating, most powerful reason that human beings are the best in the world. And if you think the people that are using fear and negativity to get your attention and you're saying they're right, they're just selling you darkness and you're buying it.
Got this gorgeous story. He talks about how when him and his wife first got together before they were married, I think they were 23, 24, he said to his wife, that really was living, wasn't it? That really was the golden years. It's just so amazing. We used to lie in on a Sunday and we could go for lunch and do all the rest of it. His wife said, you were miserable. You hated it. You hated all of those things. In hindsight, you're able to see that the fears that captured you at the time were not worth having. But at the time, you have no certainty that those aren't salient. So what you see in retrospect is how you should have felt had you known what was going to occur.
If a person goes through something that's traumatic, the average person's perspective is going to go to a space and place. What did you lose? People very rarely will ask the question, man, what did you learn from it?
What did you gain?
What did you gain? Right? How did it make you a better person? I know it didn't feel good. That's obvious. I know it hurt, right? I know you didn't like it. It wasn't convenient. But what did you gain from it? I just want to know, right? From the loss, from the pain.
If I look back in my life, I'm 39 now, and I think about all the challenging moments, I wouldn't change any of them. There's some things that seem so painful that I didn't want to experience, but the lesson that I learned from them, the person I became by overcoming them, is so much more powerful than not having them. It's not until we can get through it and reflect on it and we have hindsight. Oh, this taught me this lesson, or here's why this needed to happen, or...
The first step to change is examining your thoughts, paying attention to how you speak and how you act, and look at these emotions that keep you connected to the past and finally decide, does this emotion belong in my future? That is what drives us to our dreams, and you just got to be able to sustain that state of being independent of anyone or anything in your life. And if you can, get ready, because that's when your life changes. You're literally thinking differently, you're acting differently, and you're feeling differently. That's a new personality, and that means a new personal reality.
I tell people all the time, man, the easiest thing in the world to do is to be negative.
So easy.
Easiest thing in the world to do is complain. Easiest thing in the world to do is to quit. That's easy.
I pour my pain out onto the written page, and then I write about the good things, and that gives me that key word, which is perspective. Wow. There's that Persian proverb, I cursed the fact I had no shoes until I saw the man who had no feet.
And then if you start to think differently because you learn new information, you begin to make different choices. And if you make different choices, you can begin to do different things and behave in different ways, and you can create new experiences.
We see differently. Our perspective is different. And because our perspective is different, our outcomes are different. Our rewards are different.
So the greatest gift you could give yourself is, I believe, to make that decision and say life is too short to suffer. It doesn't matter what happens. You're going to find something to enjoy and appreciate.
Please keep life in perspective, because things could be a whole lot worse. So instead of complaining, do yourself a favor. Man, start counting your blessings. That's right, the best is yet to come. So please, remember, life is just perspective, man.
If you change the way you look at things, then the things that you see will change.
You're not going to change anybody else till you change you. Everything really does begin with you. I found a lot of people pretty much that way. They've got an awful lot underneath the surface, but until they bring it out and take it to the marketplace, they will never realize even a minute fraction of the benefits that they could bring themselves, their families, their friends, their community, and everyone else.
When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary that you go for what is yours in the universe.
What is it that I must become in order to manifest the vision that's beginning to articulate itself through me right now? What must I become? Where must I grow in my own life in order to be a vehicle for this transcendent vision that wants to express through me right now? There is a sacred law that you can't really have in your life what you're not willing to become vibrationally. What must I become? Where must I grow? Some people need to grow in becoming more loving or more self-loving. Where must I grow?
Who do you need to become to start the business? To move into the new location? To start traveling? To make new friends? To take up new hobbies and new investments and endeavors? To impact? Who are you going to have to become to build that philanthropic portfolio? To serve in areas you've never served? To see and to sow in places you've never been? Your destiny is linked to your identity.
Your perseverance is not even about you. The future, the next generation, legacy, destiny is attached to this. It is only then that you will be able to manifest and become who you were destined to be.
The hardest part of making millions of dollars and being successful in business is becoming the person who is able to do the thing. That's the hardest part. Hardest part's not doing things that'll make you $1 million. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part is you becoming the person who has enough intestinal fortitude and grit to go down into the laboratory, the cave, the drawing board, whatever you want to call it, and obsess over this problem long enough to find an elegant, effortless, effective solution. That's the part. Because most people don't have enough intestinal fortitude, they don't have enough stick-to-itiveness, they don't have enough grit to last through the learning curve to become the person who can do the thing that makes them deserve to have the stuff. Yeah, even if you take a tree growing in a garden, you plant the seed in the ground. In order for the seed to become a tree, the first thing it must do is exactly the same as the first thing we must do when we're getting ready to go through our transformation. What is that? It must be willing to cease to be a seed. Unless I'm willing to cease being what I've always been, I can never become whatever I can't have the potential to become.
If I were to give people one single tool that would help them improve their lives, I would invite them to embrace the awareness and to use as a tool their consciousness that the soul is your life is not about you, it's about everyone else whose life you touch and the way in which you touch it. Everything that you hope to manifest in your life and searching for all the good things in life come to you automatically, almost without trying. That's all you'll need to transform your experience of who you are and to touch everyone else in life in a way that will allow them to begin to experience who they are.
I came to realize that it's not about me.
That's going to do it.
The experience is yours.
You have to
but the experience that people take from the content, you will never own.
But
I will never know how much what I do affects people or doesn't.
Like, I think we were given this opportunity.
I'm not responsible for what happens with what is created once it's out in the world. The reason I was there was not to have a personal experience. The reason I was there was to make a film that could potentially shed light on an issue or teach something to people. Because I was so busy worrying about being Mr. Program maker and making this film that was perfect in my mind's eye. Whereas in reality, the conversation that was being had had never been had before. And as a result, it actively changed lives of people watching it. Literally changed the lives of people that messaged me. It wasn't about me.
All of us have seen our destiny at some point in time, and we decided, I must live what's in me, that we must live. Take that leap of faith. Trust yourself.
But by the time they start doing the work,
where they may,
all they really want to do is give. Because when you feel so amazing and feel so great about yourself that you no longer want anything, the first thing you want to do is give. And it's just a practice. And as you do that and you start seeing all the fun things happening, it's not like, oh, I got to go create my life today. You're like, I got to go because I don't want the magic to stop. So I just do it because I love the crazy, magical, wonderful things that happen that I would just never anticipate in my life. And so people are catching on to it, and they start coming for one reason, they want money or they want health, but it's not about your money, it's not about your health, it's not about your new relationship, it's not even about the mystical moment, it's about who you become in the process. Because overcoming all those limitations to become somebody else, nobody can take that away from you.
Your metas are the peace of the world. You are beyond yourself. You're greater than yourself.
Who you are today is just a point of reference. Don't you ever confuse your potential with who you are right now. Let me tell you something, you need to get to where you're supposed to be. I remember at our high school, the bell would ring and the principal would come into the hallway. He would yell and say, hey, where are you supposed to be, son? So can I ask you a question? Where are you supposed to be? Based on your dreams, based on your goals, based on your vision, where are you supposed to be? That night changed my life. My father reminded me of where I was supposed to be. And all of a sudden, I had to become somebody different in order to get to where I'm supposed to be. Your next level requires you to transform.
I need you to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, yo, E.T., where am I? What do I know and what don't I know? And how much more do I need to know to get to where I am? What abilities do I have? What abilities don't I have? What skills don't I have? If I don't acquire those skills, it's going to allow me to be stuck where I am. What skills don't I have? What skills do I still need to get? What information do I have? What information don't I have? And what information do I need to get to where I'm trying to go?
If you've decided I can't because I was unlucky, my mom this, my dad this, my country this, my gender that, my income level this, well, then it's over. It doesn't matter what I think, you think, anyone else thinks, it's over. I just refuse to talk to another human being and believe that to be true because there's been billions of examples of the alternative. There's a reason that people that were deeply alcoholic have been able to be sober the rest of their lives after going through a process. There's a reason that therapy is profound. There's a reason that meditation is profound. There's a reason that exercise is profound. To me, there's something I believe in. If one person that lived that cliche life has gone on to be an incredibly productive person, it now means it's capable and true.
Yeah. And understand anything you can see on the screen of your mind, you can manifest in your material world.
What does it mean to be resilient? To be resilient means that you are able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions.
The role of just that dogged determination to keep going. And that's not a thing of being brilliant. It's just trying to keep going, often sliding another step back, but keep moving forward. And that's a great thing because it's not something only some people can have. You know, it's universal for us all. We can all become, people think it's a God-given gift to someone be resilient. Resilience is that muscle. And you build it by failing, trying to stay positive and trying to get back your feet and going again.
Because my wife is saying if anybody knows how to get back up when they get knocked down, it's you. So my wife looks to me to see what we gonna do. And I looked at her and smiled. And I said, we'll get through this one like we've gotten through every other storm. We're resilient. And I can't tell you exactly what we're gonna do today, but I'm gonna tell you this, we're gonna get through this. And a year from now, we'll laugh at this. 2 years from now, we'll talk about this like it was a distant memory. Listen to me very closely. Life's gonna hit you in your mouth and you gotta do me a huge favor. You gotta tell life, I don't know who you've been dealing with, but you ain't dealt with me. But you come up against the wrong one this time.
You know, in the beginning, you're like, I feel bad. And then you think that should weigh on the decision of whether you do the thing that you're supposed to do. And then you start realizing that you can do the thing even though you don't feel good about it. And so I think the ultimate version of the resilience that you were referencing earlier is when you don't even consider how you feel. It's just not a thought. You just do it. Then it's almost irrelevant. And I can just keep living my life.
Resilience! See, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. You get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. You know it was hard, but you did it hard.
You got to get yourself up. I'm going to need you to stand up. I'm gonna need you to rise up. Why? Because if you get up, you're gonna win. I know you're tired, I know it hurts, but keep getting up.
And you gotta be able to bounce back. You gotta be resilient. Sometimes you're gonna face obstacles and you gotta have the ability to get back up and brush it off. You act like you ain't never failed in the first place. Are you hearing me?
Dig down deep and find that warrior that lives inside of us all. Use that warrior to get back up.
You have the power to fall down 9 times and get back up 10. You have the power to lose the lead and still come back and win. You are resilient.
What happens when I decide for myself that I'm gonna do something different? Because yeah, nothing changes and nothing changes, man.
Lots of people will spend a lifetime doing the right things, like trying to journal, pray. They develop a morning routine. They try to focus on positive thinking. They go to the right seminars. They try to put themselves in the right rooms. And they can't seem to maintain that elevated emotional state because their physiology is dragging them back down into the state where you most comfortably exist. Rather than learn to cope with what you have, why don't you dig in and get rid of it?
Takes guts. You gotta dig down deep to gut it out. Keep on going again and again and again until you make it happen, because you know that it's possible. So what I want you to do is think about something you want for you, that's real for you, that's important for you, that will give your life some special meaning and power.
You have the power to create meaning in your life rather than passively look for it. Meaning to me is, do I know more about the world today than I did yesterday? And if that accumulates and accrues daily, in a month, you know way more than you did than just that day later, so that you continue to grow.
Most people operate out of their personal history, out of their memory, things they've done, things they've experienced, things they've seen, things that they have observed. What I'm suggesting that you operate out of a larger vision of yourself. I want you to see yourself doing what you want to do, having what you want to have, doing what it is that gives your life some meaning and value. Operate out of your imagination, not your memory.
And it's so much easier to make the same choice every single day. And the hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. You're going to feel uncomfortable. So some people would rather tell the story of their past instead of telling the story of their future. They'd rather believe in their past instead of believe in their future.
If you actually just make little promises and keep little promises to yourself, it is amazing what it will do for your confidence level, your self-esteem, and could entirely change the trajectory of your life. You keep breaking promises to yourself. I'm gonna work out the first thing tomorrow morning. I get up, I get on my phone, I miss the workout. And that is the most detrimental thing for our psyche.
If you wanna know something about yourself, sit on your bed one night and say, my life is not everything I want it to be, and perhaps it's not everything that I need it to be. What's one thing I'm doing wrong, that I know I'm doing wrong, that I could fix, that I would fix? You meditate on that, you'll get an answer. And it won't be one you want, but it'll be the necessary one.
Well, most people, ladies and gentlemen, when something happens to them, what they do is they begin to believe that that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. And they can't see the possibility of it being any different.
No one ever told me that I had to search for meaning in life to begin with. It was, I got my life, this is who and what I am, this is what I did in school, these are my dreams, ambitions. How do I create meaning in my life as I go forward? My first question of me wasn't, where do I find meaning? It was, how do I create meaning? And that started early.
I know one day I'm gonna be somebody. You'll know when
Please look at my face. You're somebody now. I was somebody long before people knew who I was, and I believed that. You're somebody now.
I always think about other people that's going through a tougher life than I am. If I could take out a piece of paper and write down my problems, and you could take out a piece of paper and write down your problems, and we exchange those papers. And I'm thinking I got such a tough life. And you may have a tough life. But I pick up your paper, the one you may have written on. And I'm looking like, wow, I thought I had it bad. And then the other person say, hey, you got it a lot better than I do. You know what I would do? I would say, give me my paper back. I'll take my problems back. I didn't put myself in such a pity party position to where I felt, why me? Why not me? Why shouldn't I go through this? See, you have to know, and I believe this even more, there can never be anything good unless there's some bad along the way. You gotta go through this hell, man. this is it. Because as long as you're living, you got to keep moving. It's terrible that people don't see it sometimes that way. They always question, why me? Why? Why am I going through this? You're supposed to.
But the truth of the matter is, what you think is pain, what you think is hurting you, is actually helping you. And I'm just wondering if maybe you could just change the way that you think. Maybe if you could just see this thing differently. I know they left you, they hurt you, it left you, it hurt you, they betrayed you. Life caused your heart to be fractured, and you feel like you're just in this place where you can't move forward. See it differently. Your perspective is everything. You gotta see this thing differently. You gotta find a mirror and see this thing differently. And I gotta speak these affirmations, and I have to believe, even if I'm bleeding, even if I'm broken, I have to believe that this came to help me, not hurt me. It made me better. I'm not bitter, I'm wiser. I'm conditioned now. I see this thing differently now. I'm able to move and navigate and breathe different and talk different and walk different and build differently. I'm not building out of anger and revenge. I'm building from a place of abundance. And we study the philosophers, the queens, the kings of the past, captains of industry, CEOs, inventors, entrepreneurs. They were able to create, they were able to evolve, they were able to build something. And oftentimes it came from conflict. It came from a departure from comfort zones. The question is, can you leave where you've been?
As the sun rises in the morning, let it be a sign for you to rise up to. Let it be your reminder that even after the darkest of the nights, the sun rises to meet the day. Let the hope in your heart be an inspiration you need to fight another day. It's time for you to rise. It's time for you to grind.
Tomorrow, a mystical land where 99% of all human productivity, motivation, and achievement is stored.
Doing is the only option. If you're sitting and watching this man right now and you want to be like him, there's only one way to do it. You've got to do it. Like, there's no pondering, there's no thinking, there's no tomorrow.
The common feeling that your life has not begun. For the time being, one is doing this or that, but there is always the fantasy that your present reality is a mere prelude to some idyllic future. This idyll is a mirage that will fade as you approach, revealing that the prelude you rushed through was in fact the one to your death.
The idea that one day life's duties will be out of the way and that you can finally start doing the thing you want and living your life fully is a myth.
Your entire life unfolds in and as the present moment. When the future comes, when tomorrow comes, it won't be tomorrow anymore. It will be the now. There was a British pub in London. They had a sign on the bar that says, "Free beer tomorrow." And of course, tomorrow never comes.
So the past is gone. It's only kept alive as this thing we have memory. And the future is our imagination. Tomorrow never comes, it's always tomorrow. What we have, meanwhile, is today, is this moment.
Go after it. Go after it while you can, because tomorrow is not promised.
And I think the key is recognizing that each moment is what matters. Today is all there is, right? There is no tomorrow, there's no next year. Enjoy today for whatever is in front of you.
Make it up in your mind that every day you are blessed to see, you will give it everything you have. You will live like there is no tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today.
150,000 people die every day. Tomorrow is not promised. So if I'm not going after it, then I'm going to die incomplete.
Just because somebody else lived to see 70 doesn't mean I'm gonna live to see 70.
You gotta get fueled on the inside and say, now is the time. There is no perfect moment. Now is the only perfect moment you need.
This is my only opportunity. There is no tomorrow.
I'm thankful to see another day. No, things aren't what I want them to be. No, I don't have all the things I want to have. But I'm thankful that I'm still here. I have another opportunity
Another day to live, another chance to contribute, another chance to make a difference in life.
It is ridiculously impossible to become a human being. I am one. I have other good things going for me as a human being, and I'm just grateful. You're dwelling and looking at what you don't have versus looking at what you have.
You are alive against stupendous odds. You are breathing air, observing sunsets, gazing into the night sky. Most people who could exist will never experience that.
I need to constantly remind myself I'm not yet where I want to be, but I know I'll get there. I'm not where I want to be, but I am grateful. I am so grateful that I'm not where I used to be.
I find 10 things to be grateful for before my feet hit the ground. 10 things, and they can't cost money. And especially if I'm feeling strained and stressed, I go over my gratitude list, because gratitude will reduce stress all day long.
Happiness only requires that you are grateful. If you've got $1 billion and 3 beautiful children that love you and a beautiful husband or wife, but it doesn't matter what you have if you're not grateful. If you live in an emotional home, a habitual pace of worry or frustration, your life's called worry and frustration.
Perspective. And once you see gratitude and opportunity, life is fun. You get to decide if you're going to dwell and play prevent defense, or if you're going to see opportunity and be grateful and go on offense.
I am not where I want to be, but I am so grateful. I am not where I used to be. If you didn't make me, you can't break me. If you didn't make the sun come up, you can't stop me. If you didn't make the moon shine at night, you can't stop me. My purpose, my will, my dedication, my motivation is all about doing the business, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what I'm about. I'm about that business. I'm about that life.
You have to stay grateful. You can't take things for granted. We have so much abundance in the world, so much opportunity, and too many people are crying about what they don't have, instead of being so deeply grateful for what they have.
Do all you can within your power and the power of others who love you to maximize what you can be, what you can think, what you can learn, how you can love, whatever it is. That's what you've got. Use it.
If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. It matters not whether you ever served a day in uniform. It matters not your gender, your ethnic or religious background, your orientation, or your social status. Our struggles in this world are similar, and the lessons to overcome those struggles and to move forward, changing ourselves and changing the world around us, will apply equally to all. If you think it's hard to change the lives of 10 people, change their lives forever, you're wrong. I saw it happen every day in Iraq and Afghanistan. But changing the world can happen anywhere, and anyone can do it. So what starts here can indeed change the world. You will likely fail often. It will be painful. It will be discouraging. At times, it will test you to your very core. At that darkest moment of the mission is a time when you need to be calm, when you must be calm, when you must be composed, when all your tactical skills, your physical power, and your inner strength must be brought to bear. If you want to change the world, you must be your very best in the darkest moments. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. Start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generations that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better. Finally, in SEAL training, there's a bell. A brass bell that hangs in the center of the compound for all the students to see. All you have to do to quit is ring the bell. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to wake up at 5 o'clock. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to be in the freezing cold swims. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to do the runs, the obstacle course, the PT, and you no longer have to endure the hardships of training. All you have to do is ring the bell to get out. If you want to change the world, don't ever ring the bell. The average American will meet 10,000 people in their lifetime. 10,000 people, that's a lot of folks. But if every one of you changed the lives of just 10 people, and each one of those people changed the lives of another 10 people, and another 10, then in 5 generations, 125 years, the class of 2014 will have changed the lives of 800 million people. Over twice the population of the United States. Go one more generation, and you can change the entire population of the world, 8 billion people. Generations were saved by one decision, one person. What will the world look like after you change it? Well, I'm confident that it will look much, much better. You can't change the world alone. You will need some help. And to truly get from your starting point to your destination takes friends, colleagues, the goodwill of strangers. And while these lessons were learned during my time in the military, I can assure you that it matters not whether you ever served a day in uniform.
If you're not happy, if you don't have what you want in life, if you're exhausted, tired, stuck, the problem is the power you are unknowingly giving to other people. And other people should be one of the greatest sources of inspiration and connection and joy and love. And instead, they're a constant source of stress and frustration and energy drain, and they do not have to be. The let them theory is based on a simple truth. The fastest way to take control of your life is to stop controlling everyone around you. You have no idea how much time and energy and attention you are wasting trying to control other people. Thinking about, worrying about, obsessing about what other people are doing, what they're not doing, what they're feeling, all of which you have zero control over. Other people can't actually block your way. Only you can do that. And if you let people show you the way, if you let them inspire you, if you let them reveal the formula to success, now you're learning from people instead of turning people into a problem. Because success and happiness and joy and friendship and love, these are all things that are in limitless supply. And the truth about life is that you're not actually playing against other people. You're playing with them. When you spend tons of time comparing yourself to other people, and you look at other people's success or happiness or the things that they've achieved or experienced in their lives as evidence that you won't have it, you actually are working against the laws of the world. The more upset that you get about something, the faster you lose your ability to think critically.
It's true.
And so when you say let them, it's recognizing that there is something that happened or there is a person in your life that's doing something that's pissing you off or annoying you or stressing you out or worrying you, but you have no control over that. And so yes, react, but at some point you gotta go let them, because it helps you recognize and accept the reality and detach, most importantly, from what you can't control.
You are not tricking anyone.
Don't ever try to convince people to like you. Be you, and then they'll decide. And if they like you, cool. If they don't get you, cool.
I'd rather be a failure and be true to myself, because when I'm being true to myself, I am being free, than to be successful and not be true to myself and then become enslaved to the very thing that made me successful.
Can I tell you something? You ain't met the real you.
You've lost touch with who you are, the core of your being. You're on social media too much. You're listening to what other people are telling you. You gotta cut all that out. You gotta listen to yourself. And you gotta be a bit bold. And you have to embrace what makes you different. Things that you might sometimes be a little bit ashamed or embarrassed or uncomfortable with, right? But you shouldn't be. What makes you different, what makes you particularly strange, if you want to use another word, is your strength, is your source of power.
Are you in a place where you are ready to actually shift and, most importantly, finally cutting out the cancer of insecurity out of your body on the things that have always been there by shedding light?
You are treasure in jars of clay. Clay is not the real you. High you, that's not the real you. Drunk you is not the real you. That anxiety you, that's not the real you. That clay has convinced you that that's who you are. That clay made you think that the shy, scared, jealous, doubting you is actually you. That's not you. That's the clay that you may be in, but that's not you. Underneath that clay, there is a spirit you, there is a supernatural you, there is a treasure on the inside, and if that thing gets kicking, your clay is in trouble.
Everyone has a destiny, bright, beautiful destiny. The soul is calling us to be great beings, to be great lights, to live fully. And oftentimes people will dim their light in order to fit into someone else's paradigm and end up with crisis, end up with prolonged sadness.
Yeah.
When if you just step out of that, there's so much life to live.
You are all powerful. You are all powerful. There is nothing we cannot achieve if we believe and we're willing to work hard enough. There's no one external that's going to do it for you. You have to have enough faith to believe it all connects, but you have the power to connect those dots.
Wow.
Like, I think we were given this opportunity in life, and we've got to make the most of it.
Life is too short to waste any of our emotional energy on things that don't matter. They're not between us and our destiny. I say this, if it's not between you and your destiny, it's a distraction.
Wow.
I really didn't have a plan, but I think my destiny actually came to find me. I opened up and allowed for something greater that I didn't even know was possible. For me, it's like the letting go of preconceived ideas about what it is that you are going to do.
Destiny is calling. All of us have seen our destiny at some point in time, and we decided, I must live what's in me, that we must live. Take that leap of faith Trust yourself and let the chips fall where they may.